All right, guys, we're back with another Tesla reaction video. Today we're checking out, is Ford positioned the worst during the UAW strikes? Spoiler alert, they're one of the worst. So guys, like and subscribe to the channel. I also have a Patreon if you want to help support the show. And yeah, I'm going to start posting exclusive videos over there on my Patreon. So links are down below for the Patreon. Let's get started.
Time for Under 30 as we get a pulse check on the UAW strikes and all things autos here for Under 30, particularly for GM. The topics of discussion, Alex Coffey alongside Jenny Horn. Jenny, when we talk these names, I kind of think of these two opposing sides almost like they got each other in some type of like wrestling hold, and they're like slowly ratcheting the pressure, trying to get the other one to tap out here, and we're just seems like we're getting further and further away from each other.
I know you need one of these two forces to sort of wave the white flag here and just, you know, admit the truce. Doesn't seem like we're getting that though, because we are seeing Ford, GM, Stellantis facing further strikes per the UAW update we did get this morning. So here to tell us more on is George Tillis, senior markets correspondent for the network. So George, I mean, aside from the fact that people need to go back to work, these companies continuing the strike, entering week 3 now, I believe, this is a little bit concerning.
A little bit.
It is a little bit concerning. I mean, if you look at what the UAW is doing, they're basically tightening the screws down on the major auto manufacturers. They're looking to deploy an additional 7,000 workers against Ford at the very least. That's on top of the 12% of the workers that are already on strike right now. And they're basically, of course, trying to strong-arm the companies into paying them additional salaries. And I think at the end of the day, they're going to have to pay them more. If you look at what's happening with the other auto manufacturers outside of the big 3 U.S. manufacturers, from what I can see, they're not having the
Tesla.
same issues that
Let's
Ford
go.
is. I'm talking about companies like Honda and Toyota and even Tesla.
There we
seem
go.
to have not faced these same challenges as the big 3 automakers. So I can see where a lot of folks are concerned about already high prices of automobiles. I think there's maybe some overblown concerns about additional price hikes on vehicles because of these additional strikes and demands for wages. But we also have to think about the nature of the market. There's a lot of foreign competition that is available for selling in the United States to help offset some of those additional costs that may be passed on by the big 3 automakers once the strike is eventually finalized and some negotiated deal comes to the table and of course is agreed upon.
So what do you guys think before we finish this video? What do you guys think is going to happen? Do you think they're going to settle? Do you think they're going to get 20% increase? Do you think they're going to get the 4-day work week? And if they do get that, what do you think is going to happen? Where are they going to get this money from? Because they're already, you know, pulling razor thin they're small margins on their gas powered cars. They're making, you know, decent money there, but their EVs, they're losing money on every sale. So the extra money is either got to come from CEO salary cuts or higher upper management salary cuts to fund this, and higher prices in their vehicles, which is crazy because they're already getting undercut by Tesla like crazy. The Model Y is the best selling car in the world at this point. So I just don't see a good outcome for the company. The workers, I guess in the short term will benefit, but this accelerates their bankruptcy. So yeah, let's see what else they have to say.
George, when we look at price performance of these names, it doesn't seem like we're getting sharp reactions. It's almost like a dripping faucet to the downside right now as this kind of bleeds on. Is that kind of the base case assumption of how these will perform, as the outcome, or I guess the impact, is relatively sure? I mean, they're just getting set back time here, losing that potential earnings power, really impacting dealerships, etc. But this just comes down to how long is that impact, and that's still the unknown, and so the market's struggling to price it.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, if you look in the past, 6 or so weeks, especially if you're looking at Ford, you can obviously see the impact of the strike in the price. But before that, you have to consider that the price action of the stock has started to come down tremendously since, of course, the end of 2022. So I think or the beginning of 2022. So I think at the end of the day, I think that the business model altogether that's transitioned into for automakers has always been high volume, lower prices and competition. They've switched to a low price, high volume competition, but if they switch to a high price, low volume model, I don't think that's going to work out for them for the long run. And I think that's maybe what we're seeing here transition over time. I think at the end of the day, too, you got to look at Ford's earnings profile, because they're expected to earn $2.10 full year this year, but that's actually lower next year, down to $1.90. So their
Ford
earnings
Mach
are expected
E.
to go down the next year, not higher. And I think that's going to continue to put pressure on the stock. And then lastly here, looking at the price action, 200-week moving average, it seems to find a bottom around that level. It's trading near the bottom of that channel. So there may be some relief rally based upon some agreement if it comes to the table and happens.
Yeah, and George, I will say that any signs of development from either side, it would be read as positive. I mean, even these names were slightly higher yesterday. It's been amazing to actually see their resiliency, in spite of what you said is a more of a long-term story of pain. I mean, Ford also has their EV segment that's just bleeding money right now, not expected to see profitability anytime soon. But we will leave it there. Great breakdown on Ford. Have a wonderful weekend. George Chella, Senior Markets Correspondent here.
Yeah, so she said it at the end there, snuck it in at the end. Ford is bleeding money on their EV sales. They are not doing good at all. And they're more interested, like always, these guys are more interested in the short term. What's the stock doing today and tomorrow? What's it going to do? But on this channel, you know, Tesla fans and of the company and the stock are more interested in the long term. So that's where I'm interested, in the long term of the companies and the stock. So yeah, short term, I don't know. It might go up and down for Ford and GM, but long term, this is going to hurt them again, because they're not making any money on their EV sales. And the future of the automotive industry is EVs. Whether people like it or not, EVs are the future. They're just a better product. I say it in every video. It's just all it comes down to. It could have been whatever. What else could it be? A wind powered car. Like it doesn't matter what it is. If it's a better product, then that's gonna win. You know, it doesn't, like, it could be powered by coal or something, whatever. It's just a better vehicle. The better product is gonna win, and electric cars are just better. So that's the future of the automotive industry. And the truth of the matter is Ford and GM are way, way, way behind. And the strike puts them even more behind. Like, they can't even get out their money makers, you know, the gas powered segment. There's a big lag in that. And then the workers want more money. So they have to get more money from other places, and they have to raise prices. And then the Model Y is the best selling car on the planet right now. So it's just a disaster over there. And like, they showed the Ford Mach E, and the Ford Mach E and the Tesla Model Y came out in the same year. And the Ford Mach E sells like 50,000 like a year or something. And it's just terrible numbers over there. And this makes it even worse. I don't know how they're going to get out of this. It's going to be interesting to follow along and watch if they come to some kind of deal. And and to see the numbers quarter after quarter. I'm really interested to see Ford and GM's numbers. I know GM for some reason doesn't, because they don't give out their EV section numbers, because they're lumped together with their gas powered cars, but Ford separated them so you can see the difference. So we're going to follow along and watch. If you guys want to follow along and watch with me, I can drop all these reaction videos a lot. So subscribe to the channel, like the video. I recently started a Patreon page, so you can go support me over on Patreon. The links are down below. Also going to start posting exclusive Patreon only reactions real soon. So head on over to Patreon, like the video, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.